you can leap in with an ink swell on you, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
that's a risky. Miranda does not like to use the leaps to go in.
Just looking at, I was thinking Saberlight would have picked an offlaner with stuns, so I was thinking LC for a bit. I was thinking Necrophos for a second too, but I think Underlord also does the job pretty well. Rubik Underlord lane is all right. There's a Sven against you though. Sven is melee, so kind of attracts the attention from Underlord to use that Firestorm to push the Sven away. But Sven is also really good. Like, how do you see the Sven versus TB matchup? What's your take on it?
My take on it
Yes.
is, I think Sven is, now that he has the Axe upgrade, extremely suited to just murder TB's team around him. I still don't think that you are actually going to man-fight him just because of the possibility of a turnaround on that Sunder. But like, one of the things where Terrorblade, for example, Medusa as well struggle is their damage output, especially at the start, isn't that high. So they're pretty
Mm.
ignorable. And Sven excels at grabbing support, sticking on them,
Yeah, yeah.
murdering them to pieces. So for me, I don't see it. I think that if you play it as a direct hero into hero matchup, that you're doing it wrong as a Sven. You shouldn't
Mm.
be fighting the TB unless you're very sure that you just knock him out.
Yeah, I like the idea of Sven against TB. Yeah, there's always the threat of Sunder. You're forced to make BKBs on both of these heroes. Very likely. TB doesn't usually have the same HP pool as Sven does. Sven is still strength, and TB is that glass cannon who usually amps up his HP through items and not through levels. And the damage output is also pretty 50-50. Sven hits really hard, but there's a lot of physical damage reduction on TB's side. And the same goes the other way around. Like, Sven is also, like, he's got a lot of HP even if TB would hit hard. So yeah, you would prefer the, if you went for the axe build on Sven, the basic idea of most Dota games, if there weren't so many particles in between, destroy the supports first and then look at the cores, because if TP loses his backup, well, you've got two options: you fight and die, or you run and you won't do any damage to the others, and they have the full initiative to do what they want.
Yep,
Sven, on the other
exactly.
hand, has mobility, which TB doesn't.
And he also has something that I was talking about before, which is a setup stun for that Mirana arrow. It's not like the biggest stun, but you definitely just want something to make sure that you're not always throwing your arrows into the dark.
Got our last bans through Quap and Lena. Tinker ban from NiP, which is a bit spicy. Though, they go for the Zeus, which would be a hard counter for the TB. Go for the DP instead against the TB. It's alright.
I would like to say that I wanted to call this one. It's just a perfect companion to that Bloodseeker. You have so much damage and kill pressure out of your offlaner that you really want something stable that can stand at the core of your team fight. And a Death Prophet is definitely that, especially if, well, if we see another BKB first here, for example. I could really see that happening. And then over on the other side, the thing is that with Death Prophet getting played so much, people have been getting better and better and better at using her Spirit Siphons extremely aggressively. And a lot of the matchups that used to be very classically favored towards other heroes, like a lot of DP's counter matchups, are not that convincing anymore. I've seen SFs really struggle against DP. I have seen a lot of, well, for example, Storm Spirits, like we saw earlier, have a rough time versus DP, even if classically that wasn't really the case. But people are really pushing this hero, and I think NiP has a rough time thinking of what exactly they want to put in this lane here.
Yeah,
I think they can take pretty much anything they want.
I somehow feel Void Spirit, but that's just a random hero and a bunch of others that could be picked here. But I would like to see Void Spirit come out. But it's gonna be Avenge, actually. So we're swapping up lanes, maybe. Or not. Mid-Venge for Supreme.
Well,
Let's
I
ramp
did
up the
say
minus
that
armor.
people are looking further and further away in order to get some Death Prophet counters in, but this was unexpected, gotta say.
It was unexpected, but I enjoy to see Avenge being played out. Now, I think we will be keeping an eye open on that mid lane, how the Avenge actually deals with the Death Prophet here. But look at the amount of like damage and auras that NiP have with Underlord and Vengeful Spirit both in the same team, with TB who relies on physical damage, and Unique doesn't have an agility carry for this game who would have a lot of armor to fight against that. So talking to heroes like Juggernaut, or I mean, well, Jug is like one of the basics that we'll really start to think about here. And there's no Zeus either, which is usually picked up against the Terrorblade. But we'll see.
Pugna would have been fun.
Yeah, Pugna could have been fun in a sense, you know. Can't hit targets.
TB also hates laning versus Pugna. Anytime he doesn't have his metamorphosis, you're just blasting him. I may or may not pick Pugna into TBs.
Anyway, game 2 time. Who do you think has it? Are we going to tie the series up, or are we putting all our faith in mid-venge Charlie's TB?
I want to see this mid-venge work. And especially one of the things that attracts me about the lineup that NiP has here is that they have a ton of damage reduction between the Rubik and the Underlord. It's going to be very hard for Unique to physically burst people down.
Let's destroy it.
Let's look at that item build. So we've got stats for mid. Almost 700 HP on this Vengeful Spirit, which ain't bad. Same HP as Death Prophet actually has. Damage output is slightly smaller, and also attack range also smaller. Though Venge has faster projectiles. That's just any kind of advantage here for Supreme. Or is this Lorenov's mid lane to win?
It is, I think. Like, it does worry me that Venge, apart from, you know, the armor... I mean, Death Prophet also has good starting armor. Like, normally you offset the fact that you don't have as much range with the fact that you can just tank more, but you're just up against a laning opponent who is way better at trading, as well as that this Death Prophet gets the option of actually shoving the wave in your face. And, you know, this Venge is just going to have to deal with it. And the Death Prophet can disappear off map and rotate, or, you know, stack and farm the jungle camp whilst he's doing that. So, Supreme is going to really have to take the fight to Lorenov here, if he wants to get the most out of this mid-Venge.
Now, murder each other for my amusement.
And our very chill start for this game. Same thing as game number 1. Both teams will be able to get bounties for themselves. Vanscore's actually spotted a very interesting, smart move there from Vanscore. Actually tanks the tower aggro inside the aggro range to spot that there's a ward on top of this cliff. Love that play. But once he spots the ward is there, then he puts the sentry down. It's like, alright, well, I'm just gonna get rid of this one.
Clever one. I've seen that with the ward up here, but never with the one over on the side. I didn't actually know that yet.
Enchant leveled up by Enchantress. Go with a Metamorph from Charlie, so very basic use of it very early. Gonna take damage from these arrows and the soul. That blood right will connect to. That does quite a lot. TB is squishy. You have a salve on Misha, so they're gonna have to use that.
And I think that with the change to the Metamorph, with TB no longer being as slow when he's got it activated, they thought that they could just pop it safely in this lane. But yeah, when you hit an arrow like that, you're still going to get hit by the blood, right?
Yeah. Alright, so if you look at mid, Venge is actually leading in CS. As it's more than nice. Still pretty even though, so we'll have to watch the levels as they progress. Does it slide into each other's or either's favor? Illusion will get the kill on Misha, so an arrow under the tower.
I mean, who am I to say that this man needs setups, I guess?
Yeah, just doesn't all by himself.
This is we're really seeing the power of the Bloodseekers laning here. The spam ability of Bloodright.
Oh, that might just be it. So right will be there. He does get a bit of healing out, but not gonna be enough for him. A second one for Illusion.
Brutal. Nothing you can do.
Yeah, that was a good moment there because Metamorph had run out, and you're kind of looking at TB in front of creeps. You've got two heroes right next to each other, so that arrow would have potentially hit either one. But you still actually got the arrow to connect while TB was mid-animation for a right-click, or just about to start the last hit. So it's like, well, pulled a little trick on you.
And now neither of them can afford to die both of
We haven't really looked
Dyer's
at this bottom lane at all right now. So we've got Vanscore with a couple last hits, so I think it's because of all the pulling that he's been doing. 19's got a decent amount of CS. Alright, why are we looking at bottom? The killing's actually happening in top again. The classic, the classic.
Yes. Classic. No, you always get some last hits on Grimstroke because if you're doing it while you're securing range creeps with your Stroke of Fate. And now we'll go on to Era. He is a goner.
Not this again. Yeah, I've got to start looking at... I was watching the top situation, that if they actually might go on, because you can never know when Illusion is throwing these arrows, and then there's a fight in bottom. The Rubik's down. 4 kills for Unique. Good start for them. Just like they're supposed to be doing right now. Being very aggressive. Also, CS has been tied up in mid, so the mid situation is even.
Yep, but one thing that I'm keeping an eye on for mid is how much regen is Supreme faring in compared to Lorenov. So that's really going to start adding up.
Yep. He's easy, gets it. He's just maxing out blood right, so even though it's 60 points per level, that is like 300 damage is already half of the HP pool of the Terrorblade.
And normally you'd say, alright, fine, Terrorblade can stand in a hard lane, especially because once you get a couple of levels in Conjure Image, you can just retreat into the jungle. But Bloodseeker is so snowbally that it's just extremely risky to actually give him that space of you losing the lane.
Yeah, that is true. And also, like, you can, but it's a bad situation. TB has to go to the jungle, like level 3 even if you have 2 points in Metamorph. It's like, well, I cleared 2 camps and now my meta's out, so like, was it worth it? Not really a full level even that he can get from that, so he will hope to at least get to level 5. He has to really leave this lane completely, but I just gotta avoid not dying anymore. 4 kills already in this top lane is quite a lot.
Well, at the very least, they're doing it with enough time in between that they can TP back. And they'll probably also secure this rune right here. Yeah. Not a total
On
loss.
mid, bit of brawling. Supreme, no stun. A lot of right-click damage onto Lorenov and Illusion. With the arrow, Supreme sees it coming. Oh. Was suspecting it to happen.
Yeah, a little bit of a stutter step there. Pretty sure he's thinking about it.
Oh, on to Sven. Sven 300 HP, throws the stun on Rubik. Era, no mana for a lift. Otherwise, that would have been a kill.
It is so hard for this Sven to get any threat on the heroes in his bot lane, so he's just going to have to... Like, he still needs to trade into them in order to make sure that he is not the one getting threatened, but he shouldn't expect to come out with any kills. Mid go?
At the same time, there's like that fighting going on top. They can't really get things to happen here. Supreme is down. Lorenov will follow up after, but he gets the XP for it. Looking at the top situation there at the same time. It's like what was going to break down there. Now in bottom, actually, Sven's still sitting on very low HP, but Vanscore will give the salve to Sven. Thought that salve doesn't break when he walks into the Pit of Malice. Actually gets rooted twice. Gucci.
You see, I know that that's how it works, and I'm still getting nervous watching it. I remember the time where creeps would cancel all your potions, my dudes. It's just... I'm glad that they don't anymore, but...
Saberlight's being very careful in this lane, because one stun and one stroke of fate is enough to kill him. Get any region of the courier, there's just clarities for the Rubik to have more spells available. CS department though, TB has the least farm out of the cores. He's also got 2 deaths. Bloodseeker's closing up on level 6, so Charlie has to keep this in mind. The Harpy will deal a bit of extra damage. BZZ, there's an arrow. Might see where it actually went.
He got the Harpy, I believe.
19 will finish off a double camp here. More salves from Vanskor. Gonna go from Midas on Sven. Feels like almost every game today, the cores have been going for Midas's.
Yeah, I think that with just the long build-up of Battle Fury, it's... A Midas is nice on all of these attack speed cores, and you gotta, especially on a Sven working into a Terrorblade, you need to hit some form of a timing hard.
And Metamorph, BCC
it's
in
not going
trouble,
to be
the
early.
Rupture, and Terrorblade gets blown up to smithereens. And Enchantress might just follow suit. They can't kill BCC. That, ooh, 50 HP still remaining. But DB's Metamorph is down. And also his life. And even a dive onto Misha with the raindrops still keeping her alive for a
That's
bit.
risky.
Impetus Spear. Nope, not gonna get another one. Was about to turn around. An Illusion lives with 24 HP.
That was not calculated. You saw him trying to change the tower aggro and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oof, indeed.
But at the very least, this push is getting mirrored because Saberlight's also going on Panscore on the bot lane.
Oh. Decent amount of damage too. Era will get there in time as well. Waiting for the Inkswell. Out the lift. There. And Vanskor is down. You can use the Moonlight Shadow there. He not be on time. They also put a sentry down too, so they saw exactly where he was. 19 is now in mid.
Somebody had to take care of the wave there, but yeah, he was forced to TP out from the bot lane.
Yeah, they actually, the DP went top to get the tower with the Exorcism. And
It's a very classic change. You move this hero here, and you move this one to mid.
Yeah.
It's the smoothest way to do that rotation.
Sven knows he can't really farm in this Underlord lane anymore, so instead they're gonna put BZZ in here, and BZZ Manscore here to greet the Underlord. The teleport doesn't even go off.
So much damage.
It doesn't even go off, and Lorenov is very low on HP. Misha throws in another Impetus Spear, decent amount of damage. Sven's ulti also popped. Here comes Illusion onto Era, forcing Era away with another leap. The arrow will connect as well. Some damage on the Rubik, but the stick charges will keep her alive. And now Supreme, right-clicking onto 19. 19 turning around with the stun, and there's Lorenov on the low ground, throwing in some more crit swarms, but 19 is down. And it is Era with the Fate Bolt.
Again. Earlier, he also sniped Lorenov with that.
Uh-oh. The other
Oh,
way.
no.
Well, Race Car is here to meet you. And an arrow tanked by Saberlight.
To be fair, it's not hard to hit an Underlord.
Big target.
Yes, I just called the big slugman fat. Soon. He is.
Triple net worth lead for Unique. 3,000 gold ahead. Looking pretty good for them. That is the Terrorblade now farming in the jungle. We'll see whenever he moves into this little triangle here to farm.
So the interesting thing for NiP now is that they, with the 4-man that they have, that they're going to be buying space with, they do have a lot of damage if the Underlord gets to right-click people. He is just naturally a heavy right-clicker. Especially when empowered by this wave of terror from Supreme. But how is an Underlord going to get on top of Unique's heroes exactly?
Well, not very well. He is big.
No.
Easy to detect.
Is the rest of this cast just going to be us
We're just
calling?
Yeah, I think we're
Underlord chunky.
Yeah, we might be accidentally fat shaming the Underlord a slight bit, but then again, he is a little bit of a slime, so he might be hard to detect at times because actually, well, yeah, never mind. Let's not go to that story. There's a push for Lorenov here in mid. Exorcism popped. Era will steal Crypt Swarm from himself.
I
The swap
swap
onto
this, and I
Lorenov.
get on
Damage
top of
coming in
him.
as well, and that should be enough for the TB, for the DP kill. For the TB, and Illusion now trying to make a way out with the leaps. Enough, Era just guarding the front. All right, so that was a very fast Exorcism use.
All right. Well, I love that by Supreme. That's a mid player who's not afraid to take risks. First at BKB is like, all right, you know what? This is not my game to deal the damage. Now he's a Vengeful Spirit, and he says, all right, it's just my game to run in and see if I live or not, because that was an excellent go. And that's exactly how you stop the Death Prophet. That's an exorcism for nothing.
Pretty much. Only a bit of chip damage onto that mid-tier 1 tower, but not really worth the exorcism here.
Oh,
Though it's a level 1
Illusion hit
exorcism,
another
so
arrow.
it's not big. An Illusion versus Misha. Misha very close to this kill, and the jungle creeps,
No, he
but
did
the
not
impetus
leap.
spear does go out. And that leap actually doesn't even go on the high ground, so no chance to even try and dodge that impetus spear.
You leap closer.
That too, you could have also done that. But neither one.
If he doesn't jump, he's dead. If he does jump, he needs to go closer or to the high ground.
Saberlight harassing Vanscore while cancelling his ultimate, so he's not gonna taxi service his way out.
Not this time. Which sets him up for whatever is going to happen here later, though. Well, actually, BZZ is just taking some... No, there's a smoke, but they're not going top. I thought for sure they were going to go for Saberlight, but instead this is a cross-map move.
Yeah, and this is a pre-mechanism smoke as well, since Bloodseeker is very close to having it. Nails and mech, and Charlie is farming some stacks here. Misha, you gotta have your fingers quick. Quick ping does come out, and he gives the warning sign to his teammates that there are some unfriendly visitors on the low ground, so Unique will shift their attention towards the tier 1 tower.
You don't necessarily need an entrance skill in order to get this tower, but it sure is handy when the Rubik has a stolen Crypt Swarm and Fade Bolt. You don't have a creep wave. You never have a creep wave.
Illusion looking for an angle for an arrow. And oh no, Charlie! Oh, Illusion with the snipe.
I take back everything I said about setups, man. Some people have magnets in their arrows.
Lorenov stunned up. Vanscore here to back him up. Ulti is available, but Lorenov is already out. Here comes 19. Throws in that and a double stun. Rubik, very big trouble. Arrow coming in, but it's on the Rubik that's already dead. And BCC trying to hit Super Saberlight. Saberlight's not taking... Oh, he moves after the swap. He takes so much damage from his own teammate. But Supreme wants some revenge. And Illusion is out of the way. Supreme with a triple kill, so NiP still recover from that fight.
Lorenov is just dead before he can get his exorcism off, but honestly, even if he gets it off, I'm not sure that helps him at all in that fight. Their positioning is so awkward in that river. They all get caught by the Pit of Malice, and yeah, that's... Once again, NiP only need to get on top of them. That's the biggest barrier for them, and right now they keep getting these opportunities, or forcing them, of course. But this one was a bit of a given.
A bit, yeah. And yeah, that was also Supreme swapping the Underlord, who took even more damage from the Rupture that was on top of the Underlord, and then Underlord was moving right after. So yeah, that was a team kill almost.
Unfortunate. But it speaks for NiP that they can just move past all of these unfortunate moments. Because let's face it, Charlie getting caught with that arrow in his own triangle is also one of those whoops moments.
Alright, Uber driver Saberlight arrives in mid. But there's no panic here. Well, Unique moving towards the top lane. BZC mechanism should be on the courier. Yep, that's right. And 19 working towards a B, while NiP are pressuring mid and should be able to take this tower. Should be, as in now they are teleporting to defend it. Quite a lot of damage. Maybe even baiting Supreme to actually thinking that he might get it. Still 500 HP away from dying. Vanscore in an awkward spot in the river. And here's the Grim ulti coming in. 19, double stun, gonna be connecting, and they're held in place. The Supreme needs to get a swap out, but he's still stunned for an eternity because Illusion throws in another arrow on the stationary targets, and an easy kill. Exorcism, Saberlight down, mid tower down. Unique, do they go from Roche? I think they can actually even do Roche on here, but we'll see what their call is. They're still hanging around in the area, so yeah, no Roche today.
No, the Exorcism is a little bit too short and it don't actually have any minus armor. But this is pretty much NiP's nightmare scenario on that mid push. They know they're gonna lose their mid tower, so they want to force the other tower to at least be low HP. They know there's gonna be a clash in mid.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to take the enemy mid tower if you've already lost your own, especially if you don't do it immediately after they take yours. So they were hoping for trade there, and instead they don't get it. They lose a bunch of heroes on top. And Lorinov gets an excellent exorcism out for the first time in this game.
Misha? He's ready to go. Misha doesn't care if there's a Bloodseeker and a Grimstroke. Drives them away. Around the area, though. There's 4 staff for Vanscore, 4 staff for BZZ. I think I know what this is all about.
Oh, no.
Yep, we're gonna see a lot of moving, bleeding people.
Oh, no. I mean, it's... You see, if it works, it works.
If it works, it works.
But it's not the most elegant solution.
Almost like
But
having a 4 staff on an ogre and using it offensively and just watching everybody spin in a direction.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, I think the idea not only is just to have a save from the vengeful swap, but they can definitely get more out of the rupture too with that.
Yeah. And I want to be very clear about that, actually. I love 4 staffs.
Yes, and I think the best... I can't believe I've completely forgotten that there's a big Underlord in the room. So if he pops his ultimate, they will 4-staff people out of that Uber service. And people will be left without a driver. Illusion has been spotted right under a sentry ward. Stun will finally connect. 1 more leap charge available. And there's another leap straight into the impetus spears of Misha. Whoa, error! Stolen arrow onto Lorinov! DP gone! What?
Okay.
What?
Okay. I see ya. I guess he was getting a bit fed up with Illusion stealing all the glory. That was beautiful. And now they actually get to take this mid tower here. Not a lot that Unique should be able to do about it. It's very risky for them to go here.
Alright, let's see this. Now they get the tower out of the way. Vanscore, 19 right next to him. Oh, he gets the ulti, but the stun doesn't connect from 19. Does get rooted up the stun on Supreme, and 19 is just trying to get to Supreme, but no! So close, so far away. And now Illusion is surrounded by enemies, and NiP take 2 heroes down. They're like 2 pixels away from getting those right clicks off. They even tried to be super smart with that Sven stun on the creep wave, hoping that a hero would run to it, but no. Unique just can't get that work even without... Well, if they had a tiny bit of luck, it might have actually worked. And now BZZ will be caught too. And Misha will get that one.
You really don't need that much damage on your cores if you have an Enchantress.
Well, the mid-venge is
You just
now...
need to hold people still.
Mid-venge is totally working now.
Oh, yeah. Really nicely. They can go back in and finish Roche if they want. I would argue that the Bloodseeker is a bigger risk in the Roche fight than a Sven would be, so... Yeah, straight back in. And I just want to point out there that in all of those kills that just happened, Arrow was absolutely integral. Like, first the Arrow kill,
smoked up,
after
trying
that
to contest this Rochelle with 1000 HP still remaining. 19 wants to go in the pit. They got the vision, and Charlie will take the agent for himself, and they've already lost 2 heroes here for Unique. Actually, 1. It's only Illusion, and bye-bye. It is time to give 5 stars for your Uber taxi driver, Saberlight, who wishes you a very nice evening, and hopefully you will call me again. And do remember to rate me on the Uber app as well. So, Underlord Saberlight, sorry for talking bad words about your form, but you are beautiful. You're absolutely beautiful.
He is gorgeous. That was one of the sharpest timed Ubers out that I've ever seen. And it's, especially with long channeling spells like that, it's sometimes really hard to judge when is it going to, you know, actually take me up. They had precisely enough time to take the Aegis, tip their hats to Unique, and gone.
NiP have shifted into a 3,000 gold lead after being 3k behind Unique in the early game, so they have bounced back. Even with a shutdown TB, TB is now tying against a Midas Sven. That tells quite a lot.
It was always going to happen at some point, but probably not at 21 minutes, and that's where Unique's got to feel the pressure.
Yeah, 21 minutes is very early for that that shift to happen that dramatically. Easy trying to keep up the push in top. They've got their 4 staffs. Vanscore still building his. 19 getting lifted up by Era. Stolen Sven stun on BZZ, isolating him from the rest of the team. Moonlight Shadow will be used up as well, so Unique are now on the run. And they're gonna have to sack the Bloodseeker, and Misha has been killing a lot of people. An unstoppable streak now.
He is absolutely murderous. Swap in, fan score.
We'll make it 2.
Dire's middle tower is being attacked.
Poor dear.
Radiant's bottom tower under fire.
Look at the insecurity here as well. Lorinov and Illusion would really like to fight Charlie, but they know they can't actually afford to.
Smoked up teleport all behind Charlie. But Unique are they're threatened.
Yeah. They really wanted to, but this was a very good instinct call. They're like, something's fishy here, we're bailing.
Yeah.
Very good spidey senses.
But NiP, they can go high ground. They've got Aegis, they've got Metamorph. They have all of their abilities that they need this push. Moonlight Shadow's also on cooldown for 80 seconds. See what they can do with this push. Charlie going in first, 1600 HP. Arrow will hit one of the illusions. Illusions are cleared out. And here comes the creep wave. Her protection was already up though, so they abandoned the push.
They can't actually go without getting some heroes down first. Between the Blood Rite and the Stroke of Fate, there's just too much remote damage on Unique. And that's all magic damage too, or at least damage that TB's armor doesn't do anything against, so he can't just stand there and siege.
Unique smoking up. All 5 heroes heading down the mid lane. And to walk towards Supreme. Supreme will maybe take the bait. Here we go. Stun will come out. He'll try to Manta dodge, but it won't happen this time. X-Wall connection as well. Advantage is gone. BKB popped by 19, and here comes Charlie with a Metamorph popped up as well. Sven taking a bit of damage here. Saberlight also forced away. Actually, Leashes with the Rubik, but the lift will go out onto Lorenov. Lorenov tanking a lot of damage here. Still got 1,000 remaining and just using a couple bottle charges to keep himself up. Impetus Spears also on BZC. Mirana survives with 56 HP. And that was your exorcism after a pick-off. You are the ones running away.
I think that they weren't ready to fight into the Metamorph. They just wanted to force it. Oh no.
Bye-bye. And now we'll push towards the tier 2 tower. So Charlie leading it there.
Yeah, still not great, but you could definitely see by the way that 19 went in and then immediately ran straight out again. He wasn't even trying to kite the fight and see if he could get a regoose. No, he was just straight out of there. They never intended to fight more. But yeah, unfortunately that does cost them their mid tower now. And that's... at least it's not your high ground. And a Metamorph is on CD for a while.
Well, it's not looking too bright for Unique. Still getting to hold their base. All the racks are up. They've still got tier 1s and tier 2s in the top lane. They are fighting against an Aegis, which will expire in 16 seconds. So, do they stack up for a fight, or do they just let the Aegis expire and wait for Exorcism? It's still down for 60 seconds.
Yeah, NiP will look to take all of the remaining outers down with this Aegis. I don't think they'll go high ground with it. They just want space, specifically dark space, to get pickoffs on unique heroes in, so that they can then...
This is the gazillionth smoke here from Unique, but can they make this one work out? Got Supreme last time. Leave the illusions. Lorenov will reveal himself, so they suspect that they're defending this tower, but also that smoke. Seems like NiP seems to be getting the best of them. Nobody is pushing mid. Nobody is pushing bottom. 19 revealed with the illusion. And a 3-man, 4-man route from Saberlight. And NiP, they just set up a trap for Unique. But Unique are still going in with a rupture connecting. And they got Terrorblade stunned up. Terrorblade gonna go down. Charlie will get ripped apart by 19. Supreme is also in big trouble. Trying to make his way out. I've already lost the Bloodseeker Death Prophet alone. And he only just got that exorcism of cooldown. But he won't get to use it at all. And it's a 3 versus 3 fight as well. They're looking for anyone who's around. 19 teleports out. Illusion in the trees. Manscore trying to go for a teleport out. Misha has no cancels. Supreme is also too far away. And Illusion should also be fine. So it's a 2-for-2 trade. Underlord getting that 4-man Pit of Malice, which really backfires for Unique because they're all stuck in that same choke point. But this time TB gets no hits in, and no Metamorph was used.
And that's, I would still call this a win for Unique, just because all they're trying to do right now is get the Aghanims on Sven online, and with this last Midas usage here, he's got it. Oh, Orb of Destruction as well. That goes into the item slot immediately. So next fight, this Sven is not going to be hampered so much by getting kited at all. And I expect to actually see him go in and chase now instead of, just killing one hero and then running out with his BKB still on.
Yeah.
He gets to fight.
We'll still keep at the game. Sven is still 1,000 gold ahead of this Terrorblade. Especially with that last fight. I think it ramped up quite a lot because that was an important kill to get. BKB, however, is going to make things a whole lot different. So it's like you need to get the stuns before they use the BKBs. Again, just one of those fights. Or after. But after 10 seconds, I don't even want to know what the situation is after 10 seconds of fighting with a TB.
They're gonna lose some heroes, but I do think that if 19 sticks to the plan of not man-fighting the TB, we're cleaning up everyone else around him, it's still totally doable for a Unique. Their burst damage potential can totally offset this gold advantage. They just gotta get a good engagement. And right now, Saberlight's already found 19. He's got to pop his BKB.
Yep, that's a 8-second BKB for a disengage. Era interrupting Mirana with the lift, and a Supreme going for the swap so he can connect the stun from the lift. Really well played there, not allowing this Mirana to escape. Wow.
Era popped his god strength for that. Did you see that? Wow.
Yep.
Well, he actually
here comes the flying 19 Sven, and he slices Enchantress. And all those body parts flying all over the place. And now Lorena with the chase onto Era. Here comes Superman. And that Lotus Orb will only help for a little bit. Charlie needs to get this damage output out there right now. Lorena with half HP. Vanskor on the run. BCC on the run. 19 also has only got he's got his God strength halfway. Another arrow connecting on Supreme. They're thinking about it. They're thinking about it. They're thinking about it. But they are like, well, we can't go that deep. They're all stacked up once again. It's still a 5v4. But they're disengaging on Unique side. They don't overextend the fight. They're going to lose a tier 2, though. Very interesting change there.
That's okay.
It's okay, but it's very strange, though, because they still get a pick off. They still got their stuff running. They had exorcism. And like, well, we'll just let them take our tower. Okay.
They are not fighting the meta. It's a very clear decision. Like whether they actually can or not is, I don't know. But I do think that the shot calling here from them internally is very clear, and that's something that I've been missing from them a lot. So
look at the courier placement. It doesn't show that Roche is up. You look at their fog of war. They don't even know that Roche just spawned when they walked past the pit because the courier. All right, yeah. Did they see it now? Hopefully they did.
I didn't see a ping though.
They don't probably. Yeah, they might just scout it again with illusions and like, all right.
Yeah.
No.
No.
All right. Nope. They're still oblivious to it. But they do find.
I know the real TB is up there though.
Yeah, and now BKB up on Charlie.
This is big.
Comes the Underlord to join the party, pushing the lane. 19 already with BZZ. They have shown themselves. Smoke from NiP. They might just find some supports in the backline, but they're going to go straight for 19. The silence will go out. The Grimstroke ultimate on 2. BKB used by Terrorblade, and BKB also 19 hitting straight for the backline. Just wipes away the Rubik. And that's one hero out instantly. Coming in with the buyback is the Era. And now Vanskor throwing some spells from the background, but 19 is already down, and the Sven is gone. The damage output is no longer there. Lorinov on the run who's still invis, and Saberlight trying to keep that distance closed. They're very low on Unique. They've lost the Sven, so they cannot fight this anymore. How did 19 die so fast in that fight? Vanskor is out. Charlie might catch an arrow, but at this point it doesn't even matter. 2 heroes gone and NiP to Roche.
Oh man, that's Sven melting. That was so painful. I think most of it is just minus armor. Like he's got regular Sven fighting items, but
got 3,000 HP, and it felt like he didn't last 5 seconds in that fight. He got to the Rubik, and then he just got right-clicked to death.
And that was without meta being up. Charlie's got it now. They're gonna go high ground with this and the Aegis.
Here on his right clicks. Heading towards the high ground. They have the creep wave with them, so the back door is gone. But Unique are facing the same situation as they did in the previous game. They have to hold their high ground once again. And NiP, however...
Look at Supreme's positioning. He wants to swap.
Wants to swap. He's got a cheese. And there we go.
Got him!
Just like that. You underestimate the level 3 swap range. Look at that green circle. It's massive. Gonna have it off cooldown in 40 seconds, but it doesn't matter. They got the kill that they needed. Sven is back up. Got strength in 10 seconds. BKB is available. Charlie with Metamorph and BKB and Mantis style. Mid rack's gone. Bottom racks are also falling right here, right now. And NiP, they can either shift to top, have the Aegis, have the cheese. Meanwhile, 19 is trying to get to the backline with the Sven. He does. He's got God Strength pop, and he's going to jump in, and he catches the stun, but Arrow blinks away from it. And 19, he's going to go ham on this, or disengage. He just BKBs away. There's a stun connecting onto the Mirana, but he ults up into the air. BCC very low, and Loreno popping the BKB as well. 8 seconds for Exorcism. This fight is not optimal for Unique, not at all. And 19 is down. He's going to die, and he's out of play. Enchantress lives to see another day, but Unique cannot get these kills to happen. Rupture onto 2 with the Grim ulti, but no, they're just walking through it. However, our Charlie will catch 1 arrow, but BCC is dead before he is. And Charlie just thunders himself back to full HP once again, and Aegis is still up there, and there goes Illusion. 3 heroes down. GG is called an NiP walkover. Unique 2-0.
Very convincing in this second game. I really enjoy how they set up their lanes, not necessarily to win them super hard, but to get the kind of heroes that they want to have in the mid game, in the late game, through that initial hiccup. And it's some amazing swaps from Supreme. Once again, this man has been just surprising me with his capability for, shall I call it, sacrificial play. He's taking risks for his team and is working out beautifully. And extra shout out to Era, who, well, those quick fingers there, man. I know it didn't matter anymore at that point, but you can really see how sharp he has been playing in just that singular moment where the Sven comes from the back and he's just like, oh, nope.
It almost feels like... It feels like almost watching like NiP, how they formed the draft, and they were really convinced with the Vengeful Spirit last pick, and you could almost feel when you watch this game through that Supreme is definitely, he doesn't even belong to this level of gameplay. Just feels like he is that player who can perform at tier 1 and make big plays, but right here on this stage, he seems like he's one of the best players of the tournament, the way he does act. Obviously, Era played a really great game. Charlie did what he was supposed to as a carry, but Supreme, he was absolutely great on this Vengeful Spirit. He really put the flower into the doubters' minds and mouths with this one, saying like, or thinking that Venge mid is not a thing. Well, in this series, he definitely showed that he's better than just good. Well, I guess we will wrap up this series here 2-0, and we've got one more to go, and that series should be NiP versus Mud Golems. So we're going to get a tight fight here for the end of the day. So stay tuned. Don't disappear anywhere. One more BO2 to go, and then we're finished with the day. So we'll be back.